Hello, students at home. Welcome to online teaching of St. Charles College, Onitsha. The subject is economics and the topic is money. That is, demand for and supply of money, motives for holding money, and the quantity theory of money. This is SS2 work. Before we go into the main lesson, let us look at the specific objectives. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to 1. Explain demand for money. 2. Mention 3 motives for holding money. 3. Explain 2 motives for holding money. 4. Mention and explain factors affecting supply of money. 5. Explain the quantity theory of money. And 6. State the equation of this theory. Then, let us start the main work. What is the meaning of demand for money? Demand for money refers to the desire for people to hold money in liquid form, rather than holding it in form of assets or investing it in business. What do we mean by liquid form of money? Liquid form of money does not mean that money is is water or beer or any other thing. But when you say that money is in liquid form, it implies that money is in cash. You have it as cash, as the Central Bank of Nigeria prints it out. Then, why should people prefer to hold money in liquid form? That's what we call motives or reasons for demand for money. This was put up by one of the earliest economists known as Lord Maynard Keynes. He postulated 3 motives or reasons behind the demand for money, and they are: 1. The transactionary motive. What do we mean by this transactionary motive? This arises from the need to have cash available to meet everyday requirements and concurrent transactions. The amount you held for this purpose will depend on the level of income of individual, the intervals between paydays, and examples for such requirements are money for food and money for transport. Then, what determines transactional motive for holding money? 1. Family size. 2. The general price level. 3. The rate interest. 4. Size of income. 5. Availability of credit. 6. Interval between wage payment or paydays. And lastly, lifestyle or the status of the person. Then number 2, precautionary motive. This implies that people keep cash in order to meet up with the expenses on unforeseen or unexpected contingencies, such as sickness, accidents, or unemployment, and others. Then we have determinants for precautionary motive. 1. Family size. 2. Availability of credit. 3. Size of income. 4. Availability of social insurance. 5. Interval between wage payments. 6. The rate of interest. And finally, perception of a risk. The number 3, speculative motive. This is associated with purchase or sale of securities or goods to make profit. People will hold money if they expect that prices of securities are going to fall. They will hold cash if the prices of securities or goods are going to rise. Determinants of speculative motive. 1, the degree of risk aversion. 2, the rate of interest. 3, balance of cash that remains after allotting money for transactionary and precautionary motive. And lastly, it is also influenced by ease and the cost of converting others into cash. Then we go over to supply of money. What do we mean by supply of money? It refers to the total volume of money available in the country for use in connections with economic activities of the country. It includes the total currency, demand deposits, and the other forms of monetary media. The supply of money moves the currency on the form of banknotes and coins circulating outside the banking system. The bank deposits in current account. In summary, supply of money is money, cash, that is available in the community or in a country. Then, what are the factors that affect the supply of money? 1, we have bank rate. 2, cash reserve. 3, economic situation. 4, demand for excess reserve. And 5, total reserves of central bank. Now, let us look at the meaning of this. Bank rate. Bank rate is the rate of interest which central bank charges commercial banks for lending money to or borrowing from them or discounting their bills. If the bank rate is high, it will discourage banks from borrowing, and discounting of their bills will be affected, and this will affect the supply of money. Number 2, cash reserve. This is called cash ratio. It is the percentage of deposits commercial banks are expected to keep with them, that is central bank. If the cash reserve is high, the supply of money will be low, and vice versa. Then, economic situation. The Central Bank of Nigeria reduces the supply of money in circulation during inflation and increases it during deflation. You know that inflation means when the prices of goods and the commodities are persistently high, while deflation is the opposite. Opposite implies when the prices of goods and services are very low for a long time. Then demand for excess reserve. The demand for excess reserve by commercial banks increase the supply of money. Then we have total reserves of the central bank. Total reserves of central bank affect supply of money. It is high. If it is high, the supply of money will be high, and the vice versa. Then we now go into quantity theory of money. What do we mean by quantity theory of money? It is defined as a relationship between the quantity of money in circulation in an economy and the price level. The theory also explains the imbalance between demand for money by households and the firms and the supply of money to economic units. It explains further that if people hold more money than required, the surplus will be spent on currently produced goods and services, thereby increasing the price level. This is obvious. When you have more money with you, then you will be engaged in the flamboyant spending, excessively spending of money, especially on goods that you may not need at that point in time. And such spending increases prices of goods and services in the society. This theory also states that the value of money is determined not only by the supply of money, but also by the rate at which money circulates and the quantity of goods and the services available in the society. The theory also corrects the impression that increases in the prices are the result of profiteering on the part of producers and sellers. But this is not true. The theory has now proved it wrong, that it is not as a result of increase in the profit of the producers that increases the price. Now, then the quantity theory of money was modified by one of the earliest economists known as Professor Irving Fisher into what is known as velocity of circulation of money. So, what do we mean by velocity of circulation of money? I know that most of you who are science students, you have been hearing about this word velocity in physics. But that of physics and that of economics may not be the same thing. In economics, we are now learning under money. So, what do we mean by this velocity of circulation of money? It refers to the speed at which money circulates within the economy by changing from one hand to another. If there is increase in the velocity of circulation, price will increase. And this will bring about value of money being low. Don't simply understand it. The velocity of circulation means the speed from which money moves from one person to another. That is how money changes hands from the bread seller to the akara seller, from the man that repairs your tire to the filling station where you buy fuel, and so on and so forth. Equation of quantity theory of money. The quantity theory of money, as modified by Professor Fisher, is being represented by this equation. MV is equals to PT, meaning M stands for supply of money, V stands for velocity of circulation of money, and P stands for price level, while T stands for quantity of goods. So he is saying, the Fisher is saying, that when supply of money and the velocity of circulation of money is equal to price level and the quantity of goods, that is the equation of quantity theory of money. Criticisms of quantity theory of money. Some economists criticized the theory put up by Professor Fisher. Number one is that they were of the opinion that there are other factors which might bring about changes in the price, but not included in the theory. Example is changes in population. You know that population can increase or decrease. Increase in population brings about increase in price. Decrease in population brings about decrease in price. Number two, it relies heavily on the assumption that some of the valuables are constant. 3, it cannot be regarded as a theory of money because it did not include effect of rate of interest. The rate of interest is a major issue in most monetary values. 4, it is a mere truism, not a theory. This is because the total value of goods purchased is always equal to the total expenditure. 5, the theory considers more changes in the value of money without considering the original value of money. And finally, the theory recognizes demand for money more than supply of money. Value of money. What do we mean by value of money? Value of money refers to the purchasing power of money, the quantity of goods and services which a given amount of money can buy. If little amount of money buys large quantity of goods and services, we take it that the value of money is high. But when that little amount of when large amount of money will just buy little quantity of goods and services, then the quantity of money is very low. For example, in the past 5 years, one can use 10,000 naira or even less to get a bag of rice. But today, 10,000 naira cannot buy a bag of rice for you. So, what it implies is that in present time, the value of money is high. Sorry, the value of money is low. And again, when you want to change naira, you want to convert naira to dollar, the amount of the amount of naira you will use to get just a dollar will be very high. So it implies that value of money, value of naira is low. So when you try to convert naira, or the rate at which you convert naira to other currencies like dollar, euro, Japanese yen, and others of them, once the amount of naira you will use to convert to other currencies will be very high, then the value of naira is low. So we take it that the value of money depends on the quantity of goods and services particular amount of money we buy at a particular point in time. Now, what are the factors that determine value of money? 1, price level. 2, supply and the speed or velocity of circulation. If the supply of money increases without a corresponding increase in the supply of goods and services, the tendency is that the prices of goods will increase, thereby lowering the value of money. The same occurs when the velocity of circulation is high. Inflation and deflation. Inflation reduces the value of money, while inflation increases the value of money. 4, the volume of goods and services. When the level of production is high in a country, the supply of money is constant. The value of money will be high because more goods will be bought with small amount of money. Because once goods are available, it will push. When the supply is high, it will push demand to be what? To be high because the price will be low. Then, finally, we have what is called GRESHAM'S law. I just want to close this lesson with that GRESHAM'S law. And what did this GRESHAM'S law says? Sir Thomas Gresham was Chancellor of the Exchequer under Queen Elizabeth I of England. So he propounded a law that bad money has tendency to drive out good money. His argument was founded on debasement of coins by merchants and monetary authorities. So this law was the reason today. I know some of you, my students, you don't know that there is currency of Nigeria known as coins. We no longer use coins simply because the coins, this time around, some people has that what is called that debasement of coins, melting the coins, to produce another thing else. So, in summary, we have learned so many things today, starting with the meaning of demand for money, supply of money, determinants, value of money, determinants, the effects, and so on and so forth. So let us now look at the questions. These questions will be used as your assignment. So in evaluation, you have to, one, you explain demand for money. You mention and explain three motives for holding money. You define supply of money. Also, you mention and explain factors that affect supplying of money. Number 4, explain the quantity theory of money. And finally, state the equation of this theory. So, as I said, these questions are your assignment. Answer them and supply to this WhatsApp contact 08026729850. Please make sure you do the assignment. Thank you for listening.